Hey everyone, Rob here from Gunfather Milsim, and today we're going to talk about fundamentals of marksmanship and why they really don't apply to Airsoft. I don't bring this up to kind of shit on Airsoft. Obviously, I'm a guy who has a YouTube channel dedicated to the sport, but rather to give Airsoft players a realistic expectation of what does and does not help when trying to achieve accuracy on the Airsoft field. So in my day job as a SWAT officer and a firearms instructor, I teach a lot of precision rifle and a lot of fundamentals of marksmanship. Among those drills when I'm teaching a rifle school, there is one particular drill I teach to kind of teach people the limitations of various shooting positions. And it looks something like this. So we do this drill at about 50 yards. And we start with the most stable shooting position there is, which is just prone. I have the officers lie prone, and I have them shoot the tightest group they can. And then we go up to the target, we draw a circle around it, and we write prone next to that circle. Okay, then we go back to 50 yards and have them go to a sitting position, which is a little less stable. And then we have them shoot a group of 7 shots. Inevitably, the circle is slightly larger than the prone one. And we write sitting next to it. And then we go the next least stable, which is kneeling. And in a kneeling position, let's say groups like that. Draw a circle around that. Kneeling. Finally, standing position, 50 yards. People do their shots. This isn't exactly representative of what we get, but then you get this final circle, and that is your standing. The reason we do this drill is I want the students to have an understanding of, based on what position they're in and how much stability they can shoot with in that position, what kind of accuracy they can expect out of that weapon. Okay, it's a drill about teaching them their limitations. This is what you're going to see in real world firearms, because the more stable the firearm is, the more accurate you can shoot, depending on your fundamentals and your ability to stabilize the gun. This applies in real world firearms. This does not apply at all in Airsoft. I always find it frustrating that a lot of Airsoft players that think this kind of context that works in the real world applies to Airsoft, because it does not. And it's kind of a fundamental misunderstanding about how Airsoft guns work and really how inaccurate they are. So I did a little bit of testing this week, and I'm going to show you what I found out to kind of illustrate the point a little more. So to do this test, first I established a baseline using real steel firearms. So for this test, I used my Aero Precision AR-15. It's got a 12.5-inch barrel. It's a good gun, not a great gun, and I was using Fiyoshi 62 grain training ammunition. It's good stuff. It's good ammo, but it's not like amazing precision ammo. All right. I went to 25 yards, got in a prone position, and took 10 slow fire shots using good fundamentals, trigger squeeze, breath control, etc. And this is the result I got at 25 yards. It's a 1.25-inch group. Okay. You're going to notice it's a little bit low because I have a 50-yard zero on my gun. So at 25 yards, it's going to be a little low. I then went back to 25 yards and immediately shot another 10-shot group from the standing position. Now, when I shot that group, I was holding my rifle like so in a fairly good position for standing shooting. And I took my time. I didn't take a ton of time, but good trigger squeezes, good breath control, trying to get a good group for standing shooting at 25 yards. And I got this group here, which is a 4-inch group. So the difference between these two is more or less just under 3 times more accurate to shoot in prone, which is pretty consistent with what you should see. So then I did this test the second time. Same deal, same range, same gun, same ammo, same everything. The prone group on the second time was 1.25 inches, again, consistently. And the standing group was 3.75 inches, so a little bit better. Once again, roughly 3 times more accurate. And just a quick note on precision testing of real steel firearms. If I were to do this and just shoot 3-shot groups, and let's say I get a group where they're all touching, and I would give that as an example of this is how I shoot all the time, look at how amazing I am, I'm a sub-MOA shooter, which a lot of folks do online, I'd be full of shit, okay? If you really want to test the precision of a system, and the system being the shooter, the position, the rifle, and the ammunition, really test how good this setup is, you got to do at least a 10-shot group. Because on a 10-shot group, it's going to open up a little bit, and then you're going to see realistically what is a real, precision expectation out of that setup. free advice. So now that I had that real steel data in hand, I went home, set up a little range in my backyard. Once again, 25 yards. Why? Because I wanted it to be short enough so we could see the results on one sheet of paper, and also so it was consistent with what I did on the range earlier that day. So I set up a range of 25 yards, got my airsoft guns, and did a 10-shot group from prone using good fundamentals and a 10-shot group from standing. First, I used my ICSM4, which has a max hop that has a flat hop installed in it, a 6.03 Type bore barrel. It's a good shooting gun. It shoots above average. It's not an amazing shooting airsoft gun, okay? But here were my results, right here. You see prone, those are the black ones there. The group was 7.25 inches across. In standing, it's either 7.75 inches across or 10.25, depending on whether or not you count this little flyer way up here. Personally, I think that was a genuine flyer, but it doesn't matter either way. What you have here is essentially no change in accuracy between prone shooting and standing shooting, okay? So then to get a little more variety of data, I got out my Silverback TAC 41, which is a airsoft spring sniper rifle. It's a very accurate rifle. It's the most accurate airsoft gun I own. And I did the exact same drill, went to 25 yards, 10 shots prone, 10 shots standing. And here's the results I got. The prone shots that are in black was a 4.25 inch group, and the standing in red was actually more accurate. It was 3.75 inches. Now, does this mean that standing shooting is more accurate than prone shooting with an airsoft gun? No. It's just a testament to the inaccuracy built into the system that just by dumb luck, the standing group was smaller. As a good friend of mine and rifle instructor says, dumb luck pushes as many shots into groups as out of them, and that's what I attribute that to. So what's the takeaway? Well, airsoft is great for a lot of things. It's great for training to use cover, to use angles, to do team movements. It's great for learning how to use a weapon and move a weapon around your body. And it's great for practicing reloads under stress. It's good, cheap, affordable force-on-force training. You can't beat it for that. But when it comes to actual fundamentals of rifle marksmanship, it's largely worthless. Now, realistically, I know when I'm shooting an airsoft gun in a prone position and that red dot is absolutely steady on that target, I know that is more accurate because it's more consistent, and consistency is accuracy. And I know when I shoot that same airsoft gun standing and now that red dot's moving a little bit over that target, it is less accurate. That is a fact. The thing is, there is so much inaccuracy built into the equation of an airsoft gun, built into the fact that you're using a round projectile, a smooth bore, and a hop-up system to give you range. And the range is very limited in the grand scheme of things. That 200-foot range, there's so much lack of accuracy built into that system that we are not going to see the difference between good marksmanship fundamentals and poor marksmanship fundamentals at those ranges. It's just not going to be on the paper. You're not going to see it. I'm not saying you shouldn't use good fundamentals when you use your airsoft guns. Okay, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger squeeze, breath control, follow through. These are all good fundamentals, and they're good to practice. What I'm saying is it's not going to make a damn bit of difference on the airsoft field. I mean, for Christ's sake, how many players, this is their trigger control right here. Why do they do it that way? Because it gives them a higher rate of fire, and it doesn't cost them any accuracy. And airsoft is accuracy by volume. That's why they do it, because it gives them an advantage. If airsoft guns shot accurately enough or far enough that fundamentals like trigger squeeze, breath control, and follow through actually mattered, you would see people paying more close attention to them while they're playing. So if you go the extra mile to actually practice your skill sets in airsoft, stick with stuff that's actually going to make a difference on the field. I mentioned them earlier: use of cover, use of angles, reloads, stuff like that. So that's all I got for this video. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell. You know how YouTube works. If you want to support my content, please buy some merchandise from my merch store. If you're watching this like when it was released, then you can find my merch store at unsavorytees.com. Just go under Unsavory Army, Gunfather, Milsim. Go to the store. You can find patches, t-shirts like the one I'm wearing here, and bungee slings that I make like this one here that I'm wearing right now. If you're watching this in the future, you're probably not going to find it there. You're going to find it at dieshowtactical.com, which is the new website I'm starting for selling all sorts of merchandise independently of the old store. So thanks for watching.